problem that I have with a lot of these cases is that just because something pops up on the internet doesn't necessarily mean that the owner consented to that advertisement. If the owner, on the other hand, puts a for rent or for sale sign in front of his house, and we know the owner did it because it's on the owner's property. The owner had control over it. But this is not that type of situation.
Judge, so are you saying then that an owner is not allowed or will not go ahead and post a property on the internet? That's just
No.
saying that the only reason
But this is,
No,
that
no,
we're able to.
no, you're not understanding what I'm saying. You have the burden of proof, okay?
Correct, but it's a different form of advertising, and being on the internet is a different form of
Yeah,
advertising.
now, if you can demonstrate by the greater weight of the evidence that the owner had some control or the ability to take it down, or that the owner had something to do with posting it, then I can issue a violation. But just a notice on the internet on a property, but it and of itself does not constitute guilt. There's got to be more than just that posting.
Correct, but there's been a lot more, and I don't know if Ms. Willis elaborated on it, because this case has been going on for so long with a lot of back and forth, that there's been several calls out to the property, that there's been several issues with the property regarding the advertising and the rentals. It's not, people aren't just going to list something online that they're not going to be making a profit off of. This is obviously coming from a posting as it relates to the property. If I'm the property owner and I have 3 different people working for me and they're posting it, I can easily come in here and say, no, I'm not posting it.
Correct.
Okay,
You're-
so,
that's
yes.
not- That's not the, I'll give you an example. I'm currently between homes and I'm renting a property in Coconut Grove. How I found that property, coincidentally, was a third party listed it online. I found it. It ended up not being the realtor. It was someone trying to make that connection. It ended up working out for me. Renting a townhouse in Coconut Grove is not illegal, so everything's fine. But that's what happens. There's another case that I've been told by Crystal that's pending, that I don't necessarily want to go into now. I think it's going to be a noise case, because my client that owns the property had a party at one point, and it got loud. It wasn't a short-term rental.
Not
He
this
himself,
not this client.
huh?
This
No,
client?
yeah, but it wasn't short-term rental. He himself spoke to the officer, turned the music down. Again, a different violation, a different case, but not, he was there. He spoke to the code officer. It wasn't being rented, so that should not relate to this, and it's a separate issue, and if there's a fine for noise violation, we'll deal with that if that's brought before Your Honor. But these were not his. I mean, we've sent letters. I don't know what else I can do, short of
Well, how do you
responding
respond,
immediately.
how do you respond to the city's comment that because these advertisements get read on the internet, that people just show up and say, knock on the door and say, I'm interested, and you get a half a dozen people showing up on a weekend wanting to rent it for 3 days?
This is the first I hear that that's happened. This is for advertising, and what we have tried to do is every time we become aware of one, we request it be removed immediately. We've contacted Airbnb. I've tried to, some of this has been done by phone, so I haven't been able to, bring you correspondence from the phone calls, but I've tried to document or have him document as much as possible. And this has just become, really a side nuisance for him to deal with these things. And I said, please find a way online to look if you're out there. Look, I think to the extent that it occurred at one time prior, I don't want to sit here for hours and argue. The $250 with the $100 cost, an adjudication, he doesn't plan to do it again, so I don't mind putting that on the record. But to go beyond that,
Yeah, that's going to be my ruling, and I just would caution you that if it happens again, I'm going to be stricter.
Understood.
And I will insist that you bring your client with you next time, so that, not that I don't believe you, I believe you, and you're an officer of the court, and I accept everything you're telling me, but I want your client next time to appear and explain how these ads are popping up, because there may be something more that he can do, or maybe something that he did inadvertently. And I know that the community is very concerned about these events. Call it party houses, short-term rentals, using your property for business reasons, commercial reasons. All of these things have a very detrimental effect on the community.
thank you, Your Honor.
And so we want to be extra vigilant about these kind of things going on, and hopefully this will be the end of it. And if you see something that comes up, let code know and do whatever you need to do to take it down.
Thank you.
So the
Understood.
fine is $250, costs assessed $100, and next time, bring your client, because I'm gonna be a lot more, a lot more vigilant and a lot stricter than this time.
We certainly hope there won't be a next time, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Special Magistrate, just to let Mr. Marrero know, there already is a next time because several other officers have responded to the location for short-term rentals. So we actually have one. I know that Karen Jean Lewis has one that was dated, I believe it was for June, sometime in June, and
June of,
June of this year,
Of
June
this year.
2019, I believe. And did you have one? Yes. Yeah.
well, that's troubling. If it's
It is.
still
I'm
going
just,
on, it's
that's why I
troubling.
mentioned it to you, that it is
It's-
reoccurring. And so when you said we have to prove, and I understand burden of proof, I understand that totally, you know, but if you're saying Susan Smith may have done it, well, Susan Smith may work for you. So how are we gonna determine who's posting these things? This is why I kinda wanna make it clear so that the next officer who's standing in this seat can stand here emphatically and state that this is what happened, this is what we observed, now let's give them the maximum fine.
All right, you know, I understand what you're saying, and it's all, it's a matter of what the circumstances are. Now, if you're telling me that you've been out there several times and you've witnessed it,
There are witnesses
You
here
know.
in the room who witnessed. That's why,
Yeah,
that's why
and
I
and
said that now,
I see
yeah.
Mr. Perez waving in the back,
Correct.
anxious to come up and speak, but that's a different case.
I understand.
Okay,
Just letting
now,
know.
if you put 2 or 3 cases together, then the advertisement makes a lot more sense, because then we know that the advertisement is leading to, you know,
But-
short-term rentals.
Judge, they can't do that. They can't have a case from June 1st, June 15th, and the 20th, and all come together and present it in front of Your Honor, you know, because they're separate, different dates.
I didn't know that there was a case in June dealing with short-term rentals.
Nor did I.
Miss-
Found-
Yeah, I mean, nobody presented me with that evidence, that there were cases pending from back in June when the
Right,
property
because
was.
if it's irrelevant to what, I mean, it's very relevant to what we're encountering right now, but I'm here to present what I observe. So
Okay.
that's why you only have what he's been noticed for, what I cited for, what I observed. Since I left that area, there are other officers that have come behind me or on the weekends, so forth and so on, who have cited them once again.
And are those citations coming up for review sometime in the near
Yes,
future?
they should be, because they're already filled instantaneously when you put them
Okay.
in. But because we're behind with the agenda, you know, you're not gonna get them. We cite them and we're in August. We cited them in July and you're gonna get them today.
Okay, because
It
this
doesn't-
goes back to April.
Well, this one
Yeah.
goes back to November 2018.
Yeah, but I heard it in April.
Okay, you mean initially?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, Mr. Marrero, this is what we're gonna do. Bring your client in when those matters, those violations are heard, and I'll deal with them accordingly, because if your representations, based on what your client told you, are different from what's actually going on there, then, you know, your client, you know,
Yeah.
is not telling you the whole story.
Understood, and again, I wasn't aware, my client advised me that there was a time where he was there, and it sounded to me like, we haven't received notices for any of these, but that there was a noise case. I don't know about these, I'd have to see those cases and bring them to his attention. If there is something going on, obviously, I'll have to deal with it, but that's not what I've been told up to this point, so I will speak to him and make sure he's present for a future hearing if necessary.
Yeah, I need to hear from him, and the fine assessed, if any, if the city is able to prove its case, the fine will take into consideration what I've been led to believe, that, you know, he did it once and that's it, and then these ads started popping up, and he didn't know about it, so, you know, we'll get to the bottom of it when these other violations come before me.
Understood. Thank you, Your
Okay?
Honor.
Thank you.
The next case is 3AS Development LLC, case number RCCOR 2018-00028. Gary Beswick is the officer.
This is 3AS Development?
Correct.
Okay. 1255 Northwest 130th.
Yes.
Morning.
Please state your full name and address for the record.
Janier Valverde. I'm the property manager for the property.
Spell your full name.
Yainer Valverde.
V-A,
Lverde.
okay. And you say you're the property manager?
Yeah.
Okay.
All I need is to get an extension, 15, 20 days. We already submitted permitting to get the CO for the property. So that's really all I'm asking.
Is the city okay with that?
Yeah, I have a question. Good morning, Gary Beswick for the city of North Miami. Did they apply for the permits for the?
Yes, I just got an email from them, actually like 3 minutes ago, that I got comments and two got denied. So when I get out of here, I gotta go with them and see what the comments are. But we're submitted already.
What needs to be done?
I need to. We bought the property, and there were the wood floors were done, the kitchen was done, and the bathrooms were done. I didn't know that you had to do a CO in this city to when you change owners on a property. So I sold it, and when we were on the closing, they told us that we needed a CO. So now I'm trying to get it resolved so we can get it sold.
Yeah, it's technically called a reoccupancy certificate. It's not really a CO. It doesn't act like a CO. It just to ensure that whatever work had been done on the property without a permit gets legalized.
Correct.
Okay.
That's what we're doing.
And so what is the work that needs to be legalized? The floor and what else?
2 bathrooms and the kitchen cabinets, really.
Okay. And you need how much time?
I'm already submitted, and I'm in the process. According to what they told me, I'm probably gonna be out of here in a week or so. So I just don't want this to. I don't want to have to come back in another week and say I didn't have enough time. So 15, 20 days would get me.
Is 30
The time
days
that I-
enough?
Yes.
Okay. Based on the testimony of the city's code compliance officer and the evidence presented, the property owner being in agreement that the violations still exist, I find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication and
It's
set up.
already adjudicated.
It's already adjudicated.
Uh-huh.
See, the new system doesn't tell me that.
Okay.
So,
So just table it for the 30 days.
okay, so we'll give him 30 days then to work out whatever permit issues he has. And so I'll give you 30 days and we'll see
Okay,
where we are.
that's all I need.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
The next case is Alejandro de la Cruz, case number MHVIO 2018-01230. Gary Beswick is the officer.
Good morning, Gary Beswick for the city of North Miami. Basically, you have 2 cases which is kind of similar. So basically, we need an update on where the permitting.
Let's do the first one first, the one which ends with 01230. Obtain required permits for interior and exterior alterations and renovation without permit.
Good morning.
Sir, please state your full name and address.
Alejandro de la Cruz, 13512 Northeast 24th Place.
You own the property?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you contest the violations?
No, sir.
Okay. City? What do you want to do?
Well, I just last time I spoke with him, I think he applied for the permits. Basically, I just need some update on where you at with that.
Well, correct. Permits were applied for on July 15th. We just received comments back last week from the last reviewer. And basically, we were resubmitting this week. As a matter of fact, they might have been resubmitted this morning in response to those comments. So upon the finish of that review, we should have a permit, and then we can close out the first
Do you
one.
want to abate for 30 days?
No, I
or-
think it's already adjudicated. I think.
Okay.
So just table it for 30 days.
All right, let's table it for 30 days then. And then within 30 days, you need to do whatever
Right.
permit
The
work.
only thing that I would have to add to that is we probably need a couple of weeks upon receipt of the permit in order to pass the inspection. So the city took about a month for the initial review. If it takes another month, which is out of my control, then, you know, I'm gonna be back to
Then
square one.
talk to the code officer
Okay.
and see if it comes back before me, or he'll figure out if you're moving in good faith.
Understood.
Okay?
Thank
All
you.
right.
The next case is Alejandro de la Cruz, RCCOR 2018-00025, Gary Beswick.
Same property?
Yes, and it corresponds to the same thing. Yes.
Same result?
Correct.
Okay. So, 30 days, talk to the code officer if you need more time.
Understood. Thank you, Judge.
Okay. Okay.
The next case, Enrique Barrios, RCCOR 2018-00010, Gary Beswick is the officer.
Mr. Beswick, you want to present? Is the property owner here for that issue, for that matter? 2500 Northeast 135th Street, Enrique Barrios, joint tenants with right of survivorship. That's what JTRS means. Anybody here on behalf of the owner? Going once, twice? Mr. Beswick,
Oh, I did inspection yesterday. The violation abated.
the violation abated?
Yes.
Okay, so
Comply.
dismiss it?
Yes.
Case dismissed. Next, Exposito Group, I've heard that name before.
Exposito Group, RCCOR 2018-00041, Gary Beswick is the officer.
Anybody here on behalf of Exposito Group? All right, Mr. Beswick?
Good morning, Gary Beswick for the City of North Miami. This property was cited a failure to obtain an approved reoccupancy certificate. As of today, they haven't obtained it as yet. Then they didn't even apply for it.
Have they been previously adjudicated?
They were
Yes.
previously adjudicated for August the 14th, and the fine set was $250.
Okay. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the city's code compliance officer and the evidence presented that the property has been out of compliance since August, what,
14.
14? And the property owner not having appeared, I hereby ratify the fines accrued to date in the amount of $250, assessed costs. The fines shall continue to run on a daily basis until there's compliance, and I authorize the filing of a lien against the property.
The next case is Greek Ortho Church, case number FYBRR 2018-00007. The officer requested to postpone this for 2 months.
Case is postponed for 2 months.
Thank you.
The next case is High Hopes Incorporated, CEEXC 2019-00014. Vanessa Willis is the officer.
Anybody on behalf of High Hopes, Inc.?
Yes, Your Honor.
State your full name and address.
Philip Muscat, 13950 Northwest 6th Court, as president of High Hopes, Inc.
Is this the same property we're talking about earlier?
Yes, sir.
Okay, 13950 Northwest 6th Court. See, you didn't have to wait very long.
Thank you.
So let me hear from the city.
Vanessa Willis, City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer. This property was cited back April 26, 2019 to pressure clean and paint the exterior of the property. And I did let them know that a paint permit is required. I did put that in the notes. However, they have since painted the building. However, because we're at this stage, this violation was written April 26, 2019, and we just received compliance as of yesterday, and they were physically still working when I did the inspection. I would ask that the High Hopes Incorporated pays the administrative fees for us having to be here today.
That's $100.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so what did I do with the last one?
That was a ticket. You gave them the $500. You stayed the ticket. So they have to pay the ticket, but you didn't assess per se the.
Okay, so let me hear from you on the issue before us, which is the pressure cleaning, painting, and that as of yesterday, there was still work going on.
I was told the work had been completed. I have pictures showing that it's completed. If something's not completed, we'll be happy to finish it, but according to my photos, everything looks like it's done.
Do you have photos?
Yes,
May I see them?
sure.
You can pass, is it on an iPhone? Yes. Just pass it up. Is there one or more?
Several, you can just flip
Okay,
through.
scroll. Okay. Certainly looks a lot nicer than the
Previous
old
photo.
pictures. Yes.
And while you're reviewing that, you know how they say too many hands destroys the pot, right?
Too many
So,
cooks.
Too many cooks, there you
Okay.
go. A different place, different, you know, same concept. So, I've been in contact with Mr. Blum as late as maybe after 4 p.m. on yesterday.
Mr. Who?
Mr. Blum, his business associate.
Okay.
And so, we both agreed that the front of the building was still being painted when I was there. In addition to that, he told me that the rear of the building, now I don't know what happened after 5 p.m. because of course I went home and I haven't been there at all today. But, you know, just giving my testimony as per what he said. And so I've been dealing with Mr. Blum. Mr. Muscat has sent several emails back and forth in reference to the property, but I was unable to go back by to determine that the building in its entirety has been painted.
All right, so this case here before me now has to do with
Painting.
pressure cleaning the building, the property, the house, without a permit.
No.
No?
Just to paint.
It was, okay, so the city cited him because he needed to pressure clean,
Correct.
and he's now done that.
Well, he showed you the pictures. He didn't show them to me, so I have no idea.
Okay, can you show the code officer a copy of the pictures?
Sure.
According to the photos that he showed me, it's been done. I wasn't able to recognize the rear of the building, but it looks much better.
I agree.
As you gave testimony. Yeah, it does. It looks much better.
And the pressure cleaning issue is different from the issue with the drywall and the interior painting.
Yes.
Totally separate.
Totally separate.
Okay. All right. Considering that you've already been fined once, on which you will pay a $100 fee to the city, and that the work has been done, albeit maybe a little bit too late, but our goal here is to seek compliance and not punish. I'm going to dismiss this particular violation and hope that the work continues and that the house is properly maintained going forward.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay?
Thank you.
The next case is Hippolito Cruz, CEPFY 2019-00207. Jose Perez is the officer.
Anybody here representing Hippolito Cruz and wife Eloisa, property address 14120 Northwest 5th Avenue? Anybody here on behalf of the owner? If not, I'm going to let the city present.
Good morning, City of North Miami Code Enforcement Officer Perez. Today we're hearing the case in reference to the property located at 14120 Northwest 5th Avenue. This is in reference to parking the vehicle in the front lawn. The violation was opened back in June. As of my final reinspection, they had not complied. The property was posted July 30th, 2019, at approximately 11:35 a.m., as evident with the photograph.
Leave that photograph on just for a minute
Okay.
until I find it. Okay, I see it.
Okay.
All right.
That's in reference to the posting.
Yeah. I assume that when you're presenting that the photographs that are part of the file are part of the record. They're
Correct.
being duly introduced and that they're evidence.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And then we go on to the photographs of the violation itself. As depicted, you could see the gray Nissan Sentra being parked in the front lawn.
Any prior adjudications?
No.
Okay. So you want me to set a compliance date?
Correct.
Okay. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the city's code compliance officer, the photographs and the evidence presented depicting that the cited violation still exists and that proper notice has been given, I find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication and set a compliance date of 30 days. In the event of non-compliance, there will be a daily fine of $250 until the violation is abated or complied with.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The next case is Aran Mendez, case number CEWWC 2019-00064. Karen Jean Lewis is the officer.
Anybody here on behalf of the property owner? Iran D. Mendez, property address 861 Northeast 139th Street. If not, city, please present.
Good morning, Co-Compliance Officer Karen Jean Lewis. The property 861 Northeast 139th Street was cited on June 12, 2019 in reference to repairing the roof and the damaged fascia boards. This morning I checked the Eden system and I see that the permit that they applied for has been approved. They just haven't picked it up as of yet, so
Recommendation?
dismiss.
Case dismissed.
The next case is Lucium Investments, FYBRR 2017-00018. Gary Beswick is the officer. He requested this be postponed for 3 months.
I assume you spoke with the property owner?
Yeah, this morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Postponed for 3 months.
3 months, yes. It's a 40-year basically.
Recertification.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
not occupied and they're doing interior renovation with permits. So
Right.
there's-
There are no life safety
No.
issues that we need to address.
No, there's no,
Okay.
it's not occupied. Thank
Okay.
you.
The next case is Roy P. White, case number CESDM 2019-00005. Karen Jean Lewis is the officer.
Roy P. White, anybody here on behalf of the property owner? If not, city, please proceed.
Good morning, Co-Compliance Officer Karen Jean Lewis. The property 865 Northeast 144th Street was cited April 4th, 2019 in reference to resodding the front lawn. There was a black vehicle constantly being parked on the lawn to the point that there was damage. As of the last time I was at the property, the vehicle remains. The property was posted on August 1st, 2019 at 10:08 a.m.
And you're seeking what?
They were supposed to abate the violation by the 14th of August, and the vehicle still remains parked on the front lawn,
All
and
right.
there's
So
been no,
you want a ratification.
correct.
All right. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the city's code compliance officer and the evidence presented depicting that the property is still out of compliance since August 14th, I find in favor of the city, ratify the fines accrued to date in the amount of, what, $250?
Yes.
$250, and assess cost, authorize the filing of a lien against the property. The fine shall continue to run on a daily basis until there is full compliance.
The next case is SH005 LLC, case number CEEXP 2019-00137. Edme St. Louis is the officer.
Anybody here on behalf of the property owner, 1141 Northeast 130th Street? If not, the city may proceed.
Good morning, Code Compliance, Edme St. Louis. This violation was opened back in June 18th of 2019. As of the final recheck, violation still exists. I have pictures for the AOS. The posting of the AOS
Yeah,
was,
Just show me one or two,
okay.
just to see how, what condition we're talking about. Okay, I found them. And what is the violation again?
For the exterior painting.
Okay. Painting of the wall, exterior walls, and any adjudication,
No.
prior adjudication?
No, it's new.
All right. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the city's code compliance officer, the photographs and evidence presented depicting that the cited violations still exist and that proper notice has been given, I find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication and set a compliance date of 30 days. In the event of non-compliance, there will be a daily fine of $250 until the violation is abated.
The next case is at the same property, case number CEIVY 2019-00119 for SH005 LLC. Edme St. Louis is the officer.
This violation is for the inoperable vehicles that's on the property. There were two of them. One was removed and the other one remained. So as for this, I'll be looking for just an adjudication.
Okay.
Flat tires, expired tag,
Yeah,
and
just saw
it's
the
right.
pictures. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the city's code compliance officer, the photographs and evidence presented depicting that the cited violation still exists, proper notice has been given, I find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication and set an abatement date of 30 days. In the event of non-compliance, there will be a daily fine of $250 until the violation is abated.
The next case is Shamim Azad, case number CEFAW 2019-00133. Vanessa Willis is the officer.
Anybody here on behalf of the owner? If not, the city may proceed.
Okay. Vanessa Willis, City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer. Let's see here. Okay, bear with me just 1 second, Special Magistrate.
Yes, take your time.
Okay. This property was cited May 21st, 2019 to repair the wooden fence, paint or stain, and we asked that they call for reinspection. Currently they are not in compliance. The property was posted. There's a photo of the posting here. And the property was posted August 2nd, 2019 at 10:43 a.m.
Do you have any pictures showing the
I'm going there.
violation?
Yes. And here are some photos depicting the nature of the violation. This is the wooden fence that was cited. Another view of the wooden fence. And here's a view from afar. I don't know if you can. Okay.
Okay, no prior adjudication?
No prior adjudication,
Okay.
first time being heard.
Based on the unrebutted testimony of the city's code compliance officer, the photographs and evidence presented depicting that the cited violation still exists and that proper notice has been given, I find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication and set a compliance date of 30 days. In the event of non-compliance, there'll be a daily fine of $250 until the violation is abated.
Thank you.
The next three cases are for the same property, same owner, U.S. Bank Trust. The first case is CEEXP 2019-00131, Karen Jean Lewis.
Have these cases been previously adjudicated?
No.
They sound familiar for some reason.
No, this
No?
is the first time they're being heard.
Okay, all right. Anybody here on behalf of the bank, or the property owner, or whoever is in charge of the property at 695 Northeast 135th Street? If nobody's here, then let the city present its case. Let's hear the first one.
Good morning, Code Compliance Officer Karen Jean Lewis. The property 695 Northeast 135 Street was cited June 12, 2019 to paint the exterior of the property. And as of the final reinspection, the property still has not been painted. The notice to appear was posted on July 30th, 2019. And I see here that there was a return mail for the letter that was mailed to the property for the hearing.
All right, these properties, which often the bank acquires in foreclosure, you really need to, go ahead. I'm not gonna interrupt you. Go ahead.
Sorry, forgot to mention that I did send an email with the copy of the violations, and I CC'd Manager Cordo. A representative that's maintaining the property did respond and said that he was gonna get it taken care of, but there's been no more communication from him since then.
And what's the
And-
date of that?
Hold on just a moment.
I see on the file that there is a a letter to U.S. Bank Trust, and it looks like August 7th, maybe? That's the date on the postage. And then there's a return to sender sticker.
I don't have my notes on when I sent the email. It's in my email. I wish I had jotted it down so I could tell you the date and who I spoke to specifically. I thought I put it in there, but I don't see it in there. But the gentleman was notified of the violations at the property, along with the copy of the notices and pictures. And since then, there's been no.
Who's the gentleman again?
I don't recall his name off the top of my head, but I do have it in my email.
Okay. I don't have any problem adjudicating these three cases. I think if you want to get compliance fast, I would send it directly to the registered agent for the bank, as appears in the in Sunbiz. It's one way to do it. Posting on these cases is going to be a waste of time. It's just doesn't rise to the priority, the level of importance that the bank really takes into consideration. But nonetheless, as to the first one, I'm going to, has there been a prior adjudication? No?
No.
Okay, so based on the unrebutted testimony of the city's code compliance officer, the photographs and evidence presented depicting that the cited violations still exist, that proper notice has been given, I find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication and set a compliance date of 30 days. In the event of non-compliance, there'll be a daily fine of $500 until the violation is abated. I am setting a higher fine to see if we can get their attention, but please try to reach out to a senior representative of U.S. Bank and/or the registered agent so that it gets their attention.
The next case of the same property is CESUH 2019-00001, U.S. Bank Trust, Karen Jean Lewis.
Percent.
This violation at 695 Northeast 135 Street is because the property was deemed unfit for
Unsafe structure?
Mhm.
Okay.
by the previous building official, Mr. Jackson. So I cited them to take the necessary steps to make contact with the building department to see what is it that they need to do in order to bring the property into compliance. The property was posted on July 30th, 2019 at 10:34 a.m. and there's been no compliance. I checked in the system to see if maybe they pulled some type of permit or submitted some type of paperwork, but there's nothing on file.
Has the current building official taken any action before the unsafe structures board to have the property demolished?
Not that I know of, no.
Okay, because that's another avenue if it's a hazard to the public. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the city's code compliance officer, the photographs and evidence presented depicting that the cited violations still exist, proper notice has been given. I find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication and set a compliance date of 30 days. In the event of noncompliance, there will be a daily fine of $500 until the violation is abated. Same comments with regard to notice to the bank. Some senior officer or registered agent.
The next case on the same property, CEWWC 2019-00063 for U.S. Bank. Karen Jean Lewis is the officer.
The property was cited to repair the roof. There's currently a blue tarp on the roof. The notice to appear was posted on July 30th, 2019 at 10:34 a.m. And as of the final reinspection date, the tarp remains on the roof.
Same ruling based on the unrebutted testimony of the city's code compliance officer, the photographs and the evidence presented depicting that the cited violations still exist and that proper notice has been given. I find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication and set a compliance date of 30 days. In the event of noncompliance, there'll be a daily fine of $500 until the violation is abated.
And this concludes all the items on today's agenda.
Excellent. We're adjourned.